live from Stanford. This is Tefillah TidBit. I'm coming to you from my own dining room here in Stanford, and I'd like to talk to you a little about the break front that's behind me, which contains all kinds of beautiful items, silver and dishes. But I'd like to talk to you about two specific items that we have in it that happen to be our knives that we use on Shabbos, on Shabbat, to cut the challah with. What does this have to do with anything, and what does it have to do with prayer? So I'd like to talk to you about the grace after meals, the Birkat HaMazon, which is in the Siddur after the morning services. And it's not just something we say on Shabbat, it's something we say basically every time we have bread. According to the Bible, it says, you shall eat and you shall be satisfied, and you shall bless and thank God for the food. According to tradition, the first paragraph was written by Moses when the manna fell from heaven, and the second paragraph was written by Joshua when he entered the land, and the third paragraph was written by both King David and his son King Solomon when they built Jerusalem and, of course, built the temple. The third blessing ends with words that we know, Uvnei Yerushalayim er HaKodesh b'mheira v'yameinu. Got to use a bencher. I'm in my dining room. That please God, build Jerusalem, the holy city, speedily in our day. Baruch atah Hashem, blessed are you God, Bonei Barachamav Yerushalayim, Amen. The builder with mercy of Jerusalem. There's a tradition that when we say the grace after the meals, we're supposed to cover our knives. It says it in Shulchan Aruch, in the code of Jewish law. We're supposed to cover or remove the knives from the table. Why? So according to the Beis Yosef, according to Joseph Caro's halachic code, there are two reasons. For one reason is that knives don't belong on an altar, and our tables are considered like an altar. But the second reason is unbelievable. The second reason is that there was once a guy, and he was reading these words, Baruch atah Hashem bonei barachamav Yerushalayim, Amen. He was thinking of Jerusalem, and he was so distraught about the destruction of the temple, the destruction of Jewish autonomy, the destruction of our holy city, that he took a knife and he stabbed himself, and he hurt himself. Now, imagine this individual. I don't know if we know such an individual, that when they're saying the grace after the meals, they're having such lofty thoughts. But imagine such an individual as we're observing Tisha B'Av this week, as we're sitting on the ground in the dark, reading the Lamentations of Eicha, of Jeremiah on Monday night, and on Tuesday sitting on the ground and reading the kinos, the elegies, the stories throughout Jewish history of so many tragedies that we've gone through. And imagine this one guy that's quoted in this very important halachic source that took a knife and stabbed himself because he was so distraught. Maybe there's something lacking in our benching. Maybe there's something lacking in our remembering of Jerusalem. Maybe that guy was a little crazy. But it's a story that was put into our halachic literature for a reason. Something to think about. That are we really mourning Jerusalem the way we should? Please don't do this at home. I'm a professional. See you in Shul, and have an easy and meaningful fast.